through of how I've been using the intelligence platform to really understand the RAGatouille repository within just a few minutes. So when I first look at a repository, the first thing I try to do is get a summary of it as well as try to visualize it. So if you look at in our platform, we're able to visualize the entire code base so that you can kind of orient yourselves on what are the important components and what you have a good idea of and what you want to dig further into. Right, so if you zoom into this diagram, you can see that there's a few main components in the RAGatouille repository. There's a pre-trained model that allows you to use it as a link chain retriever, as well as index content. There's a trainer, which will train the model based off of a set of documents, a data processor, which will process the data, and then the core bulk of it, which is the late interaction model, the Colbert model, and this idea of a negative minor and hard negative minor. So those are some things I want to understand better. What exactly are the roles of the negative minor? How does it work with the late interaction model? And then how can I actually integrate this in my platform? So now that we've visualized it, let's go ahead and ask some questions. So you can see a smaller version within our chat. I want to first ask what the training data processor does. And it explains to me that it creates training triplets, which are query, positive document, and negative document. Want to ask how to provide examples for the training data processor, and then kind of understand what's the negative minor that we saw in that diagram and how it contributes to generating training triplets. From there, I also ask it, how is the training data processor used by the RAG trainer? It explains how the RAG trainer uses it and the negative minor in its training process. And then I can ask it to draw a call path of the RAG trainer. What are the main components of that flow? And then I continue to ask it. As you can see throughout this process, after every question I ask, it's able to give me a follow-up question to further my understanding. So once I understood the first, like how the training data is set up, I ask it how I can actually use this model to perform RAG.